Hi guys, my name is Eza and welcome back to my channel. So this video is going to be a rant review. At least I hope it's going to be a rant review. I need to unleash this negative energy out to the world. If I have to suffer, you have to suffer. And it's going to be a rant review on The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Ahdieh. The synopsis, you guys can check it online, okay? I'm not gonna talk about it. Let's just get to the rant review. Also, side note, I did do some eye makeup. I was trying to do some Persian-ish inspired makeup, but like the book, the execution was shit. So let's get started. I hated this book and I gave it a rating of 1 out of 5. Now let me tell you why I hate this book. Let me get into a comfortable position. The plot was shit, okay? The plot tried to be something that was deep, tried to be something that was all compelling. Like, you know, like how it was inspired from 1001 Nights, is it? Yes. It was trying to be like those short stories in 1001 Nights. Compelling, interesting, you want to know more. But unfortunately, this book was extremely shallow. I'm not even kidding you. It is so shallow. It was like a small little puddle. It's not even a big puddle, maybe this big. It's this big, this tall type of puddle that wanted to be the goddamn ocean. But let's not kid ourselves. A puddle is a puddle and an ocean is a goddamn ocean. So the first problem that I have is Scheherazade volunteers herself, you know, to be Khalid's next wife. Yes? I don't mind that she volunteers herself. But the thing is, when you volunteer yourself for something, right, there's an implication in volunteering. When you volunteer yourself for something, it means that you understand at least somewhat what you are getting yourself into. Yes? Why am I talking to the camera? Like, I expect the camera to talk back to me. But yeah, basically if you volunteer for something, right, you kind of have an inkling of what you're getting yourself into. So Scheherazade volunteers herself to be Khalid's next wife. She knows that she's going to be killed. And the reason why she volunteers is because she wants to kill Khalid as revenge or vengeance for her best friend Shiva, who was the previous bride. But my problem with it is, number one, she had no plan, okay? Scheherazade had no plan whatsoever. She volunteered, and then that was the end point. That was the last point that she thought of. She volunteered, and then she didn't think of anything else. She thinks she's such a goddamn badass bitch, like boss-ass bitch, but let me tell you, first of all, she's a fucking idiot. Second of all, she's a fucking idiot, okay? Like, you volunteer for something, you don't even have a plan for it. Like, she wants to kill Khalid, right? If you want to kill somebody, first you gotta have a plan. Number one, how are you going to do it? That's the most basic shit you can think of. You want to kill somebody, right? You need to know how you're going to do it. Are you going to poison them? Are you going to bludgeon them to death? Are you going to have somebody do it for you? And then number two, you got to think of how to get rid of the body or like get yourself out from the situation. Are you going to run away? Are you going to cut up, you know, Khalid's body into small pieces a la Mona Fendi with that politician dude, you know? You got to have a plan. But the thing is, I keep reading and reading and reading and reading and reading this book up until halfway. Still, she kept saying that I'm going to kill him, saying she's going to kill Khalid, but having no actions whatsoever. Nang nato kakipaw rang. It pisses me off because you're trying to portray yourself as this badass bitch, as this independent young woman that listens to nobody. But the thing is, the thing that you were supposed to do in that, in that palace was to kill him. If you can't do that, you have to think of a backup plan. Okay, you can't kill Khalid because supposedly he's the second best swordsman in Ray. I'm going to get to that because I feel that is also bullshit. Because he's the second best swordsman, right? So obviously you can't bludgeon him to death. He's good with the sword. The only chances you can have is poison. But because Scheherazade is being like followed 24/7, she can't exactly find a way to get herself some poison to kill him, right? So you got to think of a backup. You can't kill him. Then maybe you can help getting information, like be a spy or something to help other people, like how to get him, how to bring this monarch down. You got to think of something. You can't tell me you are intelligent and smart without showing me that you are intelligent and smart, which is one of the problems with this book. It's like it shows me stuff. It's like, what do you call it? No, it tells me stuff. The whole thing of show, don't tell. Yeah, it tells me stuff, which brings me back to Khalid being the second best swordsman in Ray. It tells me that he is the second best swordsman in Ray, but it doesn't show me anything. So there's this one part of the book where Khalid did his swordsman training, and all he did was just prance around the place with a sword, or a shamsir as they call it. I think it's how they say it. With a shamsir, and just whips stuff around. And then I'm thinking, so that qualifies him to be the second best swordsman in Ray? Seriously, just prancing around like a goddamn peacock in this place? If you want to be the best swordsman ever, wouldn't you need to apply your qualifications in battle? Wouldn't that really make you the best of the best? I mean, if you can just prance around with a sword, anybody can be good at it. But is it good at killing somebody? Because that's why you're good with the sword in the first place, right? You don't use it's not fencing. You're not doing it for fun. You're doing it to kill somebody. If all your dance moves and whatever is not killing somebody, are you really that good as a swordsman? It always tells me he's the best, but it never shows me anything. And by the time it does show me something, or a smidget of whatever Khalid can do, I already don't give a shit. And I was not even focusing on the text anymore. I just wanted to get the book over with. So we got that out of the way. And the thing is, like I said, she didn't have a plan. She keeps saying she wants to kill him. She's not smart, as we have discussed. But the thing is, all of this could have been avoided had the author just changed one thing. Don't make Scheherazade volunteer. I genuinely feel that had she not done that, had she not made Scheherazade volunteer, everything else could stay the same and it could have been deeper, because if Scheherazade didn't volunteer, right, which means that she didn't have time to plan for anything because she didn't volunteer, she didn't ask for this. This is a shock to her and us as the reader. So she has to think on her feet. She has to be fast about it. So to postpone her death, she starts telling, she starts telling Khalid all these stories, like the original Scheherazade. But in this one, because she volunteers, it's that's your only plan. You want to tell him little stories, and then what? The only time she did proactively try to kill him was she said, okay, let's go to town, and then she tried to poison him. And I'm thinking, you couldn't do that in the palace or something. People want to kill him left and right, so it's kind of her successfully killing him people wouldn't think it's her, but you get what I mean? I'm not even making sense. So it's so your one and only plan to kill this boy king of this place is to bring him to town and poison him. And she could have shot an arrow at him, but she didn't at the last minute because she's I couldn't. I have feelings for him. And I'm feelings for him? Excuse me? Talking about feelings for him, do you know how long it took her to fall in love with this boy? 3 days. 3 days. You keep saying, or you keep telling the audience or the reader or whoever is willing to listen to you that you love your best friend so much. You love her so much, right? But 3 days, that was how long you held out before you start, having feelings for the man who killed your best friend, by the way. 3 days, not even a month, not even a smidgen of resistance against Khalid. He just did the smolder, and you were already having your panties gone. It's gone with wind. And I'm oh my, 3 days. Now, which brings me to the planning of the murder again, okay? Because there's this one part in the book where Scheherazade was comforting her best friend Shiva. So that probably took a day And then, like, what do you call it? That's okay. Worst comes to worst, you got 2 days. 2 days. She had 2 days to plan. If she really wanted to kill Khalid, she had 2 days to plan. If she was smart enough. But she didn't. So obviously she's a fucking idiot. And then the stories that Scheherazade tells Khalid, they're so boring. They're so boring. Like, honestly, I would have just, if I was Khalid, I would have just killed her if she gave me a cliffhanger. Like, bitch, I can have so many other women tell me stories. I don't need to listen to yours. It was so boring. And then it's just kind of like when she was finally about to be murdered, you know, she's like, no, I have more stories. I have more stories. Then, bitch, you should have told that yesterday. And then, like, what is up with the chemistry between Khalid and Scheherazade? I'm saying what's up with the chemistry because there is no chemistry. Oh my god, my bra strap is showing. Excuse me. Sorry for being vulgar. Yeah, like I was saying, there is no chemistry between the main characters. It's because it's kind of like, okay, you get 3 days and they start to like each other. But the thing is, like I said just now, the book is so shallow. I'm not sure why they even fell in love with each other, you know? Do they even know each other? Like, he only knows her because she's fiery and she's a spitball. She's spitballing everywhere. And she's what I wanted to say was actually spitfire, not spitball. So, sorry. She's a spitfire and she's sassy and she fights back against him. She's not scared of him. But I feel like that's not really a good basis for love, you know? You want to know somebody. You want to get to know what they like, what they dislike. Do you guys have something in common, or you guys don't have anything in common? Something. But I felt like the chemistry between the main characters was so shallow, especially with Tariq, her ex-boyfriend or childhood lover. Like, okay, you just love her because you guys are childhood friends. That's it, and you guys share like history together. Really? That's the best you can do. Like, why you love her. You can't even explain why you love Scheherazade. So I don't understand why Khalid is just like so obsessed with Scheherazade and Scheherazade is so obsessed with Khalid. Like, I don't understand the chemistry because in my eyes there was no chemistry. In my eyes and my understanding of the plot, they just fell in love with each other, with each other because they saw each other as hot. And then what is up with the other like side characters, like Despina, the Greek or Theban handmaiden for Scheherazade? She was so sassy against the queen. She's like saying, oh, I'm a spy. Like, she says she's a spy but never explains, is she really a spy? Is she not? Like, are you a troll or something? Like, don't you get killed for doing stuff like that? Apparently not in this book. Like, and then suddenly she says she's a spy and then she's out there to spy on what do you call it, Scheherazade, but it's never proven whether she was a spy or not. And the next thing you know, they're friends. And then it's just, I just don't understand, basically. Like, it never goes deep into it, like deep into the plot of what it could be. Is she a spy? And if she was a spy, why? Why was she a spy? Is it because like Khalid was nice to her? Is it because she didn't have a choice? Like, why are you a spy? I guess another thing that I can think of in terms of writing or plot or whatever I'm trying to talk about is that I wish that the author showed us how complex Khalid is as a character. Because right now we only know him as the murderous boy king, right? And then, so people don't understand why he's killing all these women. And then even Shazi doesn't know Scheherazade, by the way. This is her nickname, Shazi. Even Shazi herself doesn't understand why, like, he's killing all these people. And in the book, she sees that, oh, he's actually a really different guy just because he's quiet. Just because he's reserved, he's quiet, and somewhat kind. Like, bitch, Adolf Hitler was a vegan. He was kind to animals. Was he a nice person? Perhaps. He had charisma. He was charming. Wasn't too good to the Jews, though. So, what I'm saying here is, you can be reserved, you can be funny, you can be humble, but you might not be a nice person overall. Like, you need to give me more depth around here. I wish that the author kind of showed us the complexity with Khalid by showing us that, yes, he is known more as a boy king, but show that he's also a great ruler, show that within his reign he has done so many improvements for his people. Their schools, maybe not a lot of people are not living under poverty or something. He is kind to his servants, he gives a lot of help, show all these things. So it makes you wonder that, he does all these good things. What's so bad about killing a few girls? Give some complexity, some nuance about it, But in this book, it wasn't shown at all, like what he did as a ruler. It's just kind of like he sulked somewhere and then he met a lot of people, but for what, nobody knows. So I wish that the author would do that. Show his job as a king, show the improvements he has done for the people, and give some nuance to why he is killing all these women, right? And then what else do I need to talk about? Okay, now we're going to talk about the curse. It took me almost 200 plus pages to finally find out what the hell was the curse that was laid on Khalid. So basically, this is spoiler. I mean, you guys have been spoiled all this time. So basically, Khalid had a first wife, right? I can't remember her name. But he had a first wife. Let's just call her Eva. What if her name really is Eva? Never mind. Let's just call her Eva. And he had his first wife, and he was just 17. She was also pretty young. And the reason he married her was because he didn't want to marry a person that was chosen for him, which was his step uncle's daughter, basically his cousin. Or like step cousin. The reason why he didn't want to marry his step cousin is because he doesn't want to be indebted to the Sultan of Parthia, I think, is his place. And the reason why he didn't want to do that is because that Sultan doesn't believe that Khalid is the true heir of Khorasan. So he decided, fuck it, I'll just marry somebody else. So they got married. I think she had depression because she was pretty melancholy. And then she got pregnant. She was happy, but then she had a miscarriage. And then because of postpartum depression, she decided to unfortunately commit suicide. And then her father, so Khalid's father-in-law, blamed him for the death. And what he did was he put a curse on him to say that if you do not kill, I can't remember if it's like 1,000 women or is it 100, like 100 days or 1,000 days. I can't remember, but it's like between 100 to 1,000. There's a lot of numbers, but you get what I mean. If you don't sacrifice these women and kill them the way that my daughter had died, your land will be cursed, and then famine will happen and stuff like that. I wish that the author really showed how bad it was, this curse, just to show that there was really a curse, because we keep hearing that, oh, there's a curse, but we don't see anything. Again, with the whole show don't tell, she's just telling us, but she's not showing anything. So you think that this Khorasan place or this Ray place is like a really up and coming city and stuff. I wish that the author really showed how bad the curse was, like either famine everywhere or like floods all the damn time, or like droughts all the time, cows or like livestock dying for no reason. Really, really show how bad it was, so that Khalid can really take this curse seriously. Which again brings me to the magic thing. I'll explain that later. Really, so Khalid can see that shit, he's really being cursed. This is really happening. And then also show that he didn't believe it at first, because he's like, okay, it's a curse, sure, whatever. But from what I read in the book, it kind of just, I don't know how to say this. It kind of just showed that, oh, he had a bit of famine. It was literally explained in one paragraph. He saw a bit of famine here, a bit of drought there, and he thought, oh shit, I'm being cursed. The curse is real. I'm gonna start killing women. I wish it wasn't that way, because it just looks like he's a really stupid king. Like, droughts and famine, they happen, especially in, I don't know when this book was done. Those things happen. Droughts happen. Livestock dies. Like what you call viruses and bacteria all over the place. People die. That's normal. That's not a curse, really showed to me how bad it was for months on end. And then the moment he started killing these women was when everything started to get better. So you can see, shit, it really is the curse and not a coincidence, right? And then another thing is, why can't the author show that Khalid was really trying to overcome this curse? Try to find, alchemists or like scholars. Try to find out how to break this curse. Like how can he overcome it? Is there another way that he can do, or perhaps he can do that and also improve like the people in Ray or in Khorasan, like the agriculture, the the buildings and stuff. So when he does have to stop killing these women, like his people are set for a few more years while he's trying to find the cure for his curse. You get what I mean? Because in this book it shows that he's doing nothing. He's just tired all the time. He's not trying. He basically gave up. And I'm like, I don't know if this is my king, I'd want him to be overthrown anyway. So that's that on the terms of the curse. Actually, not yet. Another thing that was the first part. Another thing that I just thought was like, let's say that, okay, we have one part where I have two situations for this. The first situation was that he exposed his curse to the people, kind of like he tells his like community, or like he tells his government. No. He tells his people, basically. He tells his people that, hey, I'm cursed. I need to, sacrifice a lot of women, so we are gonna be okay. Whilst also doing the things I said, the whole agriculture and shit. So that's the first thing. So perhaps his people are gonna be like, let's do this. Some of them are really up for it. Like they believe him because he's a good ruler or whatnot. So they believe him and they think like, okay, I'm going to follow what he says because I believe that this curse is real. And another camp is like, this curse is bullshit. So you have these two camps. So these two camps are going to have like a civil war, which will add like depth to it, because now Khalid is not only trying to figure out how to overcome the curse, but he's also trying to overcome like the civil war that's happening, which can explain away riots, because in this book there were riots and looting everywhere because people are not happy that he keeps getting like their daughters and killing them for no absolute reason. So having this, like having his curse exposed, it will give the riots and the civil war and like the unrest have some meaning, have some depth basically. And the other situation I was thinking of, he doesn't expose it to all of his people, because it kind of makes sense why he wouldn't want to tell it, because it reveals a weakness, and he is a king. So when a king, like when a monarch or somebody in power reveals a weakness, that's not very good for everything else, So this second situation was that he only exposes his weakness to the girls that he chooses to kill, like their family, and then he can, blackmail them or something, or like threaten them, like if this weakness gets exposed, all of you will die, basic something like that. He's the king. I'm pretty sure he can think of something. So it's like he gives them a choice basically, to these like noblemen or the people that the families that he chooses to get their daughters, kind of like say to them like, hey, there's a curse. I have chosen your daughter to be the sacrifice. Are you willing or not? So again, it'll go back to the whole civil war type of thing. So it gives more depth. So you can be like, oh shit, he's handling so much shit. No wonder he's tired. No wonder he's like cranky and stuff. And it's just, I don't know lah. Okay, do you guys ever realize that the curse doesn't make sense? So the father-in-law blamed his son-in-law that he supposedly killed his daughter. But the thing is, the daughter died by suicide due to a miscarriage, due to being sad. So it's like, was it even his fault? Like, it didn't even make sense. Why would he be, like, prosecuted and judged and for something he didn't do? Like, if it was something he actually did, he had an active participation in, by all means, yes, the curse makes absolute sense. But it's like his wife died due to something that's out of their control. It's not like he threw the girl, like, off a flight of stairs and then she fell and, miscarried or something. It just doesn't make sense. This book is, I don't know, I feel like my review is going all over the place. I'm really sorry. And what else can I talk about? Oh, magic system. Now that I'm reminded of it. The magic system is utter bullshit. It was not explained whatsoever. I don't even know how the magic works. Never explained. It just say, oh, like fire starts here and then you gotta sacrifice something. It's like, for what? You gotta sacrifice this for what? What magic are you getting? Is it natural magic? Is it black magic? White magic? Is it nature magic? Is it alchemy? Like, what the hell is going on? Never explained. So that's that. I feel like it's utter bullshit. And another thing, this is completely off topic, but still about the book. Like, in the book, the author says that Scheherazade is really good with the bow and arrow. Why was it included? It's never, like, she never uses it for anything that matters, basically. Like, why have, okay. My problem is, why have a warrior type of heroine, but put her in a situation where she can't use that warrior instinct, that warrior stuff, right? Because in Scheherazade, you gotta be smart, you gotta be intelligent. So why can't the author make this girl smart? Yes, she's a damsel in distress, but she's intelligent. Make her like the original Scheherazade, where she had to use her intelligence to get out of situations. Because you're trying to put this warrior heroine, and then you don't have her use these skills that she has. It's kind of like, then why did you put it in there in the first place? It's like a waste of space. I'm not sure if it's going to be explained in the second book. I don't think I'll read the second book because I'm just so bored and I'm so over with the first one that I don't even want to spend time with the second one. So it's like, if you don't explain it in the first book, right, why she has all what she has, apparently Scheherazade also has magic, never explained. So if you don't explain the magic system, why Scheherazade is good with a bow and arrow, and like why she has these skills, like for what, it's not a very good book, basically. Like, if you don't explain to me in the first book how everything works, what makes you think that I'm interested to read the second book? Right? Okay. Another thing is pacing. Pacing was, I don't know, pacing was so slow. It was so slow for the first 80% of the book. It went on and on and on about like Shazi wanting to kill Khalid, but she didn't, but she wants to, but she didn't, because apparently she has feelings for him. Why, I'll never know and I'll never understand. But then towards the end, because I think the author realized that shit, we are towards the end and nothing is being, conclusive, nothing is being, what do you call it? Being wrapped up properly, that the pacing just went out of the window. It just went like speed train. You were Speedy Gonzales. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. It was Speedy Gonzalesing towards the end. I just don't understand. 3 days. That was how long you held out to not like this guy. 3 days. Like, out of all the many, many, many dicks in the sea that you could have gotten, you even had an ex or like a childhood lover you could like. You like this monster. I'm just like, even if he felt remorseful that he killed your best friend, he still killed her, So are you really comfortable with that? Being with the guy who literally killed your best friend for what? For a curse that might not be there, might or might not be there. So it's like, oh my god. Honestly, right? If I died by this guy's hands, right? I died because of this guy. He murdered me and my best friend fell in love with him within 3 days. I kid you not. I will like rise from the dead to haunt my best friends. To be like, 3 days, guys? Seriously? That's all I mean to you? 3 days. We were supposed to be ride or die. We are each other's soulmates. And 3 days? Excuse you, but friendship over. Who cares that I'm fucking dead now? Friendship is over. So basically, in essence, I do not like this book because number one, plot was really shallow. Number two, characters were lackluster and also shallow. Number three, writing off the plot is just like, what? It's like you do. Oh my god, I'm going off on a tangent again. You can pick apart this book basically. There's so many goddamn plot holes everywhere. You can just like, it's like a freaking cheese, you know? It's like holes here, holes here, holes here, here and there, everywhere. Like, come on, man. Come on. So yeah, that's the review. I hope you guys like it. Leave a like and subscribe. And sorry, this rant review is all over the place. I just don't read this book, basically. Okay, bye.